Hello and welcome to my channel. I know it's been a few days, y'all. Welcome to Oracle of the Tides. I know there's a lot of craziness going on right now. If you're overseas, you know somebody overseas, praying for their protection. So I know a couple videos ago, I can't remember which video, maybe it was like 2 or 3 videos ago, I mentioned that I felt and I saw like something huge was going to happen, like it's going to be on the news. Did not think it was going to be in this direction. Did not think it was going to be in this direction. But I felt it, and I spoke on it because it was, the message needs to go out. Like I said, I can't remember which. If you were, any of my subscribers that was, tuned into that, you know which one I was talking about. All right. Just a moment of prayer. If any of you guys have any loved ones overseas in a war zone, praying for their protection, praying that they're able to get out safely and back to their destinations. All right. So let's get into the reading. Ooh, all right. Obsession, infatuation, and addiction. I feel like I gotta pull another card. Silence, frozen, no words. Someone suffering in silence. Reverse, releasing, letting go. Someone doesn't want to release something. Letting go. That could be decluttering also. Decluttering spaces, letting go of ideas that you were obsessive, that you were just adamant about, like, this is what's going to happen, this is going to change. And I feel like that works both ways on 2 spectrums. On one spectrum, you have all these plans, you're like, I'm going to, do this, and, the universe might have other plans for you. Excuse me, y'all. Like, my nose feels congested. It seems to be doing that lately. Every time, in the previous one, I wanted to do a reading, and I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm going to continue to get these readings out. So excuse me if I sound nasally. All right, so sorry, y'all. Give me a second. On the 2 spectrums, you have one spectrum where, you're obsessed about how things are like the play-by-play. And sometimes the universe is going to throw you a curveball, and you're going to end up doing things that you didn't think that you were going to do, or you reroute, I'm going to tell you, sometimes, like, how they say rejection is your protection? Sometimes yes. And sometimes the universe is directing you into spaces that would better fit you, and sometimes you're going to go down these roads where it's going to challenge you, and character building, heavy on that. And then when you spin the block, you realize, dang, I'm so glad that I went through this, because now you know how to handle your own. It could be management. It could be learning how to operate in chaos, because you're going to be operating a business. Maybe it's learning how to let go of people. Maybe you have like serious attachment issues, and you're like, hey, when you think about it, this person wasn't good for me. They don't have to necessarily be harmful to you in a way where they're doing something, but maybe in a way where it's overall harmful to you, because you yourself are not taking the steps to grow. You're obsessing over the same cycle. You realize, hey, whoa, let me get off of this. It's like a drug addict. You don't say I can cut this anytime, but then you go back to it. Sometimes things have to be removed for you to either appreciate it or realize that you don't really need it at all, and that it's time for you to stand on your 2 feet. Excuse me. I feel like this is heavy also on letting a specific person go, releasing. It doesn't always have to be bitterness. So the word bitterness popped in my head. Maybe somebody's bitter. Maybe somebody is realizing through the obsession that they're not doing what I want to do. They're not molding. Heavy on someone trying to mold or be like, if you just act right, if you just do this, or I know what's best for you. But I feel like it's more of a, like, if you just act right type of energy. That's where the obsession comes in, and maybe they're silent. Maybe they realize they need to pull away from you, And because they don't feel safe in your energy. Maybe, if they're telling you something, this could be the other person too, put it where it fits, it's like talking to a brick wall. And they're like, hey, for my safety, I need to back away because no matter what I say, they're not listening. They're obsessing. They have this idea in their head that it's not just not going to work. And I feel like this other person, or it's possibly you experience with this other person, where it's kind of like, it's giving hermit mode, but it's also giving enlightened. Like, we're always going to be constantly enlightening ourselves, but it feels like this energy is in a space where they don't want to do too much talking and overly explaining stuff. It's kind of like, instead of reacting, they're just kind of like observing, taking a breath, and be like, you know what, you have to process this. You're not going to like it, but you're going to have the process. It's almost like a mother to a child, or a father to a son, or whoever the case may be. That's the energy. But I'm getting, they love you, they care about you, but you don't see yourself. It's like a spinning of madness. Or maybe, like I said, you could be the person that experienced itself, and you're taking a step back, and you're like, hey, I am building my business. I am working through my energy. I'm picking up the color yellow. Maybe you like wearing yellow or gold, but heavy on yellow and gold. Also white and green. Could be a Leo energy or a Leo placement. Also picking up an air sign, Aquarius, possibly Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So you might have either that or a heavy chart in that. Yeah, someone's not ready to, excuse me, let go. And I'm gonna tell you, ooh, excuse me, I rebuke that. Open up my throat chakra. If you don't, it's gonna be more wear for tear. I'm gonna tell you, it's not gonna end well. You're gonna have to go through it even more. And if you do go out that lesson, you're gonna realize when you look back that, dang, I really tore a lot of stuff up. And in that instance, you'll hopefully be in that position, or that person that you could be observing, where it's like, okay, well, I hope they're now in a wiser position to know how to navigate their own feelings. Heavy on that. Somebody learning to navigate their feelings. It's not, and I have to say this too, because the spirit is saying it's not your job to navigate somebody's feelings. Heavy on that. I heard that being screamed. I don't know if someone's guide is saying it's not your problem to, and I hear it with the accent, some form of accent, but it's like, it's not your problem to fix somebody's emotion and navigate. Heavy on that. Someone is like saying, like, you do too much navigating of somebody else's energy, like too much navigation of their emotions too. Like, you're trying to like explain shit to other people about them, or just like overly explain stuff where now you're excusing their bad behavior. Stop that. someone, ooh, auntie, grandma, someone, guide. Yeah, Dep. I'm starting to feel a little tipsy. Someone was definitely trying to come through there. And I feel that that's specific. Auntie. I'm picking up Auntie Stephanie, a Crystal, Sally. Something with a T, an R. All right, something was pushing me though. It was like, hey, stop trying to navigate other people's emotions. Stop trying to navigate their emotions to make it fit for you. And excuses, heavy on that. Someone is not happy. Someone's spirit guide is like heavy on that. And I'm trying to get out of that when it keeps coming back to that same message. So, listen, okay. Open your heart. Healing. Yes. Whatever resistance you had, baby, open your heart. Clear it up. Open. And I feel like that goes back to another person who has released themselves. And a lot of times when people feel like their heart is open and they're thinking, they go straight to love. And that could be the power of the heart chakra in many forms, a way of how to utilize that energy to draw things to you. There's a secret in that. Your chakras have power. Also heavy on being careful of your chakras and not having somebody connect wires to your chakras, to connect cords to your chakras, but I'm hearing wires for some reason. Maybe tapping in wires, maybe someone trying to like psychic spy on your energy. But I'm picking up on wires. I'm picking up on someone's trying to suck and it really attach their chakra to your chakra, and hoping that you don't figure that out. They want it closed. Someone wants it closed, and I feel like, and I see it like someone is seething. It's like, why aren't there? They want, it's like, I want your chakras closed. I want your chakras closed. I want your chakras closed. Like, heavy on that. I need to go get my bell. Hold on. Clear that energy up. Not the message. The message is gonna come through, but rebuking that other stuff. Somebody really wants someone's chakras like closed. They don't want them to. They don't want them to advance. They don't want them to open up shop. They don't want them to do anything. They want them. Someone has changed. Either if you're a crossroads, maybe you're seeing somebody change and you want them back to where they were, or you yourself. There's someone in your energy that wants you. And now getting like, I'm pulling my energy back. Yeah, somebody doesn't want to know. Somebody's trying to, somebody has, they're not trying to be known. Like somebody is a little two-faced, their energy, they don't wish you well. It's jealousy, heavy on jealousy. Before it was competition, now it's just like, well, why can't you just be who you were before, you know? Yeah, they don't want you in your divine, as a woman, or you're in your feminine energy. They don't want you in your divine feminine energy. Maybe you used to be like this, all chaotic, and you flip the script, and they're trying to be like, nah, we're going to move that shit back. Yeah. Nourishment. I was picking up a Cancer energy before. I was picking up a Sagittarius on that last one, but right before I picked this up, I'm picking up a Cancer energy. So if you're a Cancer, perhaps you've finished. I'm picking up someone, you probably shed some tears recently. Picking up garden. Use your tears to nourish your garden, I'm hearing. And also a Taurus. I don't know if it's you got in with it with a Taurus, or someone was a Taurus thinking about you, or you broke up. Water and earth sign. Ooh, that's an interesting match. Taurus and Cancer. Or Taurus is thinking about you. You were thinking about them. Some type of breakup, and maybe a fire sign had to do with it. Picking up a Sag. Or maybe the Taurus was interested in the Sag. Oh, bottom of the deck, Twin Flame. But for which one? All right. What else message do we have to get out? What are we on? 13 minutes. Ooh, excuse me. Y'all excuse my nails. It's been a rough week and I need to give it some TLC, but y'all aren't here for that. You're here for the message. All right. Holy Spirit, Holy Mother, ancestors and spirits, beauty. Picking up Sagittarius, bluff. Someone is not who they say they are. Someone is not who they say they are. Heavy on that. And I want to put that in two directions. Someone is not, and I just know, I just got to leave it like that. Someone is not who they say they are. They're wearing a mask in every sense. Perhaps is within themselves, you know. They're acting like they're this big thing and really they're not. They self-doubt themselves a lot, and, you know, they realize like, hey, shit, I'm not as strong as I thought I was, because maybe they went against someone that they thought that, you know, didn't add up to them, and they realized, oh shit, they got some juice. They're the real deal, and they realized, well, damn, I've had a lot of people lie to me and give me all this false stuff, and realizing that the other person would, like, someone's having an epiphany, and they don't want to show it. That probably start to also re-examine the people that surround them. You know, it's like, you fed me lies. Heavy on that. So it's like, you fed me lies. You fed me lies. You fed me lies. And I feel like it's this organization or this group of people that fed them lies to keep them close. I was picking up Taurus energy. Taurus energy. Taurus energy, Taurus energy. Um, and then, but also, man, that's crazy because now I'm getting a flash of like a garden and stuff. So maybe some nourishing. Maybe they themselves. Maybe they themselves are going through the same people, the same person that fed them lies is now going through maybe a transition of nourishing themselves, but they realized that the damage was done. You know, when that maybe Taurus, particular Taurus, was in an empty air energy, picking up Aquarius energy also. Maybe they rule by thought, or maybe they just like moving stuff around and utilize you or that person to gas them up and believe this, that, and third. They did, and then they set them up because even like you didn't realize who the fuck you was going against, or that person didn't realize who the fuck they were going against. And I don't think the person that they were going against knew who the fuck they were either, you know. But then that person grew, and this person's like, well, you knew who this person was all the time, and you set me into this trap. Someone got set the fuck up, and they gassed them up. That's why they were in a false mask. Yeah. They don't want to. They don't want to believe shit, and I feel like it's a bitterness too, and probably for also like some, it's kind of like, you know, why can't you just go back to how you were before, because it made them feel comfortable, and they could believe the lies and illusion. What's this? Bitterness. Look at that. Yeah, and I mentioned bitterness earlier. Bitterness, honey. Yeah. Someone's bitter. And I'm hearing something maybe perhaps from their guy, but it's like bitterness, maybe change. But you don't want to hear that though. Somebody came through. Bitterness, baby change.